My boys, who are ages 9 and 5, like I mentioned earlier, they were born in the UK, they've always lived in the UK, and they speak Yoruba very, very fluently.
And welcome to the channel. I've come to this event and there are quite a few people here, but there's one person I was interested in, and that's because she's teaching our kids how to speak our mother tongue, and that's Yoruba. So I'm going to get her to introduce herself.
Yeah, hi everyone, my name is Abisade and I'm a mom to 2 boys, ages 9 and 5. I teach Yoruba language to children and to adults.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's interesting, Yoruba. So what made you come up with the idea? What was the inspiration?
So my boys, who are ages 9 and 5, like I mentioned earlier, they were born in the UK, they've always lived in the UK, and they speak Yoruba very, very fluently. And a lot of parents started asking me when they see their videos on TikTok, they started asking if I can teach their children Yoruba as well. And from there, adults started asking if I can teach them Yoruba, and I thought, yes, why not?
Wow, that's nice though, because I'm one of those parents that is guilty of not teaching their children Yoruba, because I think back then it was just so easy to speak English. But we've now realized that some of our children think that they don't quite fit in here,
Yes.
and it's always good to have a culture. And of course, since our culture is the Yoruba culture, so that is great. So if my child wanted to learn Yoruba now, how can they get hold of you?
So you can go on either TikTok or Instagram. We are called More Than One Language, okay? Because as a people, there is a lot more to us than just one language, English language, right? We need to explore our language, our mother tongue, be very proud of it, you know, both in public and in private, speak it, embrace the culture, you know, get a better sense of identity of who we are, and feel a lot more empowered, especially in a multicultural society like the UK.
Oh, great. That's important. That's very important. So the other thing I was going to ask you is that, obviously, I said I wasn't able to teach my children how to speak Yoruba. What would you say is the main reason we have not? I don't know. All of us, actually, we're all guilty of it, not just myself, because I know there are lots of people younger as well. There are people in Nigeria who cannot speak Yoruba. What do you think the reason behind that is?
I think it's a mindset thing, right? Because a lot of us have that mindset or the thinking that English language is a lot better than our language, which is not true. There is no language that is ever better than the other. So my background or my real story to this is I came to the UK 22 years ago as a teenager, and when I was at college doing my A-levels, I used to speak English to everyone that I knew, even all my friends, relatives, everybody that could speak Yoruba. I would just be speaking English to them. And one of my Caucasian friends one day said to me that, how I wish I had a second language. You know, you've got a second language, you're not speaking it, you're always speaking English. How I wish I had a second language. And she challenged me and said that, I'm sure by the time you have your children, they're not going to speak English, they're not going to speak your language. And I was like, that is for you to say. And that put me on that challenge. And I said, you know, by the time I have my children must definitely speak Yoruba. Like, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
So, I've actually spoken to your children, and one of your videos actually went viral.
Yes.
So I actually knew about her through the children. So when I came to this event and she was talking about children speaking Yoruba, I said, oh yeah, I think my son, because my son is learning to speak Yoruba.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, I was going to go back to that. So what you're doing is quite inspirational. I think more of us, come on, we missed the boat first time around, but don't let us miss it again. Because listen, if we don't speak the language, our children don't speak it. That is it. The language is going to die.
That's right.
So please make an effort if you have children who are interested, and it doesn't matter what age. My son is 31 and he's learning. Yeah. You know,
we have classes for children from the ages of 5 through to adulthood. Okay, so we have children and adult classes, so there is no excuse at all. We need to raise a generation whereby our children are really proud of who they are, and we can embrace one another whenever we see ourselves and create a community. Guys, we just have to.
So if I wanted to start the class now, how do where is it run?
Feel free, yeah, so all our classes are virtual, they're online. We have classes once every week, but you will get homeworks. And the homeworks will ensure that you are putting everything that you've learned into practice at home with anyone that you speak to over the phone that speaks Yoruba. So you have no excuse not to learn. Our classes are very hands-on, very practical. All you need to do, send us a DM on either Instagram or on TikTok. We are called More Than One Language. Either on TikTok or Instagram. Send us a DM and then we'll get back to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And remember, listen, brain cells are important. You need to try and use them. If you don't use them, you lose them. And learning a new language is a great way, you know, to improve your memory. So thank you very much and take care. Most of us have children who cannot speak our language.
Yes.
And just tell the audience what you do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ihuaku. Ahambo Ihuaku. And I actually run an Igbo school named after myself. It's called Ihuaku Igbo School. We started in 2021. And the reason why I started this Igbo school is because I have 3 sons and I had dreams of teaching them Igbo, speaking to Igbo to them all the time, and even sending them back to Nigeria for 1 year each. And that actually didn't materialize, and I realized that they were getting older and older and they were not speaking the language. So I decided to do something about it, and I decided to get someone to teach them Igbo. From there, basically the interest grew, and I expanded it to other parents who wanted to teach their children Igbo. And now we've taught about 40 children and adults. So we have children and adult classes.
Okay, then that's great. And so I was going to ask, how long have you been running this business?
2 years.
Okay, then great.
Yes.
So where do you tend to get most of your clients from? How do you find the students?
Okay, so what I do is I just speak to people that I know. It's really word of mouth. So I spread it in groups that I'm part of, Igbo groups that I'm part of, and get interest that way. And the people who actually go through our school, are so happy with their results that they get other people asking them questions, and then from there we get referrals as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
5 years from now, what would you like to see?
5 years?
I mean, for the business and also, of course, for the community that you're teaching.
Well, I mean, I have a passion that more people like myself in the diaspora and even back home in Nigeria get to speak the Igbo language, because according to UNESCO, even down to 2025, Igbo is almost an extinct language. And I would like more people in the diaspora and in Nigeria to speak Igbo, both young and old, and to make it something that is common for them to speak Igbo. And for me, for this business, I would like to expand it more to the community, to get more people. For me, that's just a passion. It's just a passion project for me, and I would like to get more sponsorships as well, if I can, from UNESCO and from other places, to sponsor this passion, because it's not just a business. It's actually a passion, and it's actually a community need.
Is it almost like a movement?
Yes.
So
it's a movement. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, can you outline one of the reasons you might attribute for us not teaching and speaking our native language to our children once we leave Africa? So that could be Nigeria, Ghana.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what happens, life just happens, because most of us are here to work and to live and to make something out of ourselves. So that's the priority, to make money and to make something out of our lives. But we forget that if we don't really pass on our cultures to our children, then we don't have a legacy. We don't have a legacy. We're people without a root. So we need to remember that this is our root. We need to pass on our culture and those roots to our children. And while we're out there trying to send our children to the best schools, private schools, and grammar schools, and make all the money and build the houses, let's remember, because if we don't have anyone to pass those things to, if we don't have anyone to pass on our cultures, the cultures and the language that our parents and our forefathers gave us, then we don't have anything. We're people without a root.
So thank you very much. So which social media can they find you on? And I'll put your links down below, but if you tell the audience where they can find you.
You can find me on both Instagram and Facebook under learn_Igbo_language.com.
Okay, we'll put the links down below. So thank you very much, Patricia.
It's
been nice having you. Thank you, and continue to spread the word.
Thank you. And sorry, look out for Ihuaku Igbo School. Ihuaku, Ihuaku Igbo School, and our tagline is Ahamefula, which means my name will not be lost.
Oh, that's great. Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.